Hello, gents. Some people can put on an act pretending to be confident, independent, or mysterious, but when it comes to Sigma males, there are certain traits that simply can't be faked. These men operate on a completely different level, one that doesn't rely on validation, social status, or artificial displays of strength. They don't play roles or adjust their personalities to fit in. Who they are is deeply ingrained, making their behavior impossible to copy for long. Unlike those who try to appear indifferent, Sigma males genuinely don't care about status games. While others force confidence, theirs is silent and unshakable. Their discipline isn't based on motivation, it's wired into their core. Even their ability to read people, navigate chaos, and detach from emotions isn't something that can be learned overnight. Anyone can try to act like a Sigma male, but the truth always comes out. Fake confidence crumbles under pressure, forced independence cracks when challenges arise, and pretended indifference disappears the moment rejection stings. Sigma males don't have to prove themselves, they just are. And that's what makes them stand out in a world full of imitations. Number 1, an almost dangerous level of emotional control. Most people are predictable when emotions hit. They react instantly. Anger makes them lash out, fear makes them hesitate, and excitement makes them impulsive. But a Sigma male, his emotions never own him. No matter how intense the situation, he remains externally composed. Not because he's suppressing his feelings, but because he controls them rather than the other way around. This isn't detachment, it's mastery. He still feels everything, but you'd never be able to tell. His pulse might be racing, his mind might be processing a storm of thoughts, but his face, unreadable, his tone steady, his movements calculated. There's no visible panic, no knee-jerk reaction, no desperate need to let emotions drive his next move. He assesses first, reacts later, if at all. This is what makes him both fascinating and intimidating. People expect emotions to be readable, to see frustration in clenched fists or excitement in a widened gaze. But with a Sigma male, there's nothing to read. He never explodes in anger, never melts down under stress, and never begs when hurt. This isn't about being cold. It's about control so refined that it borders on dangerous. And here's what makes this impossible to fake. True control is effortless. Some try to act emotionally composed by forcing themselves to stay silent or keeping a fake poker face. But under pressure, their real nature cracks. They snap, they stammer, they lose their grip. A Sigma male doesn't perform calmness. He is calm because he trained himself to be unshakable. That's why people can't quite figure him out. He doesn't play into emotional games, doesn't get baited into overreacting, and doesn't reveal what he's feeling unless he chooses to. His silence isn't weakness, it's power. His restraint isn't passive, it's lethal precision. That level of self-mastery, you can't fake it. You either own your emotions or they own you. Number 2, self-discipline. That doesn't depend on motivation. Most people wait for motivation to strike before taking action. They need an external push, a deadline, a pep talk, or a sudden wave of inspiration to get things done. But a Sigma male? He moves regardless of how he feels. His actions aren't dictated by fleeting emotions, but by sheer commitment. This is what makes him unstoppable. He doesn't rely on a playlist of motivational speeches or a grind mindset to hype himself up. He understands a brutal truth most people avoid. Discipline is about doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. There are no shortcuts, no magic formulas, just relentless consistency. And here's what makes this impossible to fake. Real discipline leaves no room for excuses. Anyone can pretend to be disciplined for a few weeks. They'll hit the gym, wake up early, and stick to a plan until they lose momentum. Then the excuses creep in. I'm too tired. I don't feel inspired. Maybe I'll start again next week. But a Sigma male? He doesn't operate on feelings. If he says he'll do something, he does it, no matter what. That's why his progress is inevitable. While others burn out chasing motivation, he's still moving forward. While others stop when things get hard, he pushes through. He doesn't need an audience clapping for his efforts, and he doesn't need recognition to stay consistent. His discipline is internal, driven by a mindset that refuses to bend to laziness or distraction. This level of self-control makes people uncomfortable. They wonder how he keeps going, how he stays so focused, how he never seems to slip. The truth? He mastered what most people never do, the ability to act without needing to feel like it. And that kind of discipline, you can't fake it. You either show up every day or you don't. Number 3, No desire to belong and no bitterness about it. Most people crave belonging. They shape themselves to fit in, adjust their opinions to match the group, and fear the idea of being left out. But a Sigma male, he feels no such need. He's not avoiding people to be mysterious, nor is he isolating himself out of bitterness. He just functions better alone. That's his natural state. No resentment, no rebellion, just a quiet understanding that solitude is where he thrives. This isn't forced. It's not the result of rejection, heartbreak, or some grudge against society. Sigma males don't walk away from the crowd in anger. They simply never needed it to begin with. While others seek comfort in groups, he finds clarity in his own space. While most people panic at the thought of eating alone, traveling solo, or spending days without social interaction, he embraces it effortlessly. The key difference? He's not lonely. People who fake this trait often have an undercurrent of frustration. They push people away but secretly wish they'd chase them. A Sigma male, he doesn't push anyone away or pull them close. He moves through life on his own terms, fully content with or without company. And here's what makes this impossible to fake. True independence isn't loud. Fake lone wolves make a show of their solitude, constantly reminding others that they don't need anyone. A Sigma male, he doesn't say it, he simply lives it. He can go days, weeks, even years without external validation and never feel like he's missing out. That's why people find him so intriguing. He's not desperate to prove anything. He's not waiting for an audience to recognize his uniqueness. He just exists as he is, self-sufficient, undisturbed, and completely at home in his own world. And that level of independence, you either own it or you don't. Number 4, the ability to walk away without looking back. Most people struggle with walking away. They second-guess, they hesitate, they look for closure. They leave, but not really. They keep checking in, hoping for some last-minute validation. But a Sigma male, when he decides something is done, it's done. No theatrics, no drawn-out goodbyes, no need to explain himself. He doesn't threaten to walk away to get a reaction, he just goes. This isn't coldness, it's finality. He gives people, situations, and opportunities a fair chance. But the moment he realizes something is wasting his time, draining his energy, or compromising his peace, he cuts ties without hesitation. Not because he's heartless, but because he respects himself enough to never beg for what's not meant for him. And here's what makes this impossible to fake. True detachment doesn't need an audience. Fake strength loves making a show out of leaving. Some people storm off, hoping others will chase them. Some go silent, just to make someone panic. But a Sigma male? He doesn't announce his departure, he just disappears. By the time people notice he's gone, he's already 10 steps ahead, mentally and emotionally free. That's what unsettles people. They expect him to struggle with letting go, to need closure, to show some kind of hesitation, but he doesn't. His ability to detach isn't an act, it's who he is. He sees no reason to cling to something that no longer serves him, and he doesn't need a dramatic conclusion to move on. His silence after walking away is what speaks the loudest. No reaching out, no lurking, no regret. Just a quiet, absolute disappearance that leaves people wondering if he was ever really there to begin with. That level of control, you can't fake it. You either mean it when you walk away, or you don't. Number 5, a brutal, unshakable memory. Most people's memories are like a leaky bucket. Details slip through, conversations fade, and important moments get lost in the shuffle of everyday life. But a Sigma male, his mind is a vault. Every detail, every pattern, every seemingly insignificant moment gets stored away, ready to be retrieved when needed. It's not selective memory, it's total recall. He doesn't just remember what was said, he remembers how it was said, who said it, and what was left unsaid. While others struggle to recall a conversation from last week, he can repeat word for word something you told him years ago. And it's not just about words. He picks up on patterns, how people behave under stress, how their stories subtly change over time, and what their smallest habits reveal about them. This is what makes him nearly impossible to deceive. Lies, inconsistencies, and manipulations don't work on him because he remembers too much. You can tell him one thing today and another thing a month from now, and he'll catch the discrepancy instantly. He doesn't just listen, he catalogs. And here's what makes this impossible to fake. True memory isn't selective. Some people try to act observant by focusing on a few details, pretending they've got a keen eye for things. But real, unshakable memory isn't just about remembering what's convenient. It's about remembering everything, whether they want to or not. This is why Sigma males often seem distant. It's not that they're cold, it's that they see too much. They've been paying attention long before anyone realized it. They've noticed shifts in tone, patterns of behavior, and subtle betrayals that most people miss entirely. And once they know the truth about someone, they never forget it. That kind of mental sharpness, you can't teach it. You can't fake it. You either have a mind that operates like a living archive or you don't. Number 6, a complete lack of interest in gossip or drama. Most people claim they don't like drama, yet they're the first to lean in when whispers start. They pretend to be above gossip, but they secretly crave the thrill of knowing other people's business. A Sigma male. He doesn't even pretend to care because he genuinely doesn't. It's not some act of superiority or a forced, "I'm too mature for this" attitude. It's deeper than that. To him, gossip is nothing but noise, pointless distractions that offer no real value. Why waste energy dissecting someone else's life when he could be sharpening his mind, working on his goals, or simply enjoying his own solitude? And that's what makes this trait impossible to fake. Most people who claim to hate drama still react when they hear something juicy. Their eyes widen, their curiosity sparks, and they can't help but engage, even if it's just to listen. A Sigma male, his expression doesn't change, his focus doesn't shift. It's like he didn't even hear it, because in his mind it never registered as important in the first place. This lack of interest unsettles people. They expect engagement, validation, a reaction. But when they try to pull him into pointless conversations about who said what, who's dating whom, or who made a fool of themselves, they're met with silence, or worse, a single indifferent glance that makes them realize how little it all actually matters. That's the difference. A Sigma male's disinterest isn't forced, it's real. He doesn't need to rise above drama because in his world, it never had a place to begin with, while others get caught in the endless cycle of petty conflicts and useless chatter. He stays in his lane, focused on what actually moves the needle in his life. You can fake maturity. You can fake being unbothered. But you can't fake a mind that's wired to filter out the irrelevant, and for a Sigma male, gossip and drama don't even make the cut. Number 7, a natural aura of mystery, not an act. Most people who try to appear mysterious do it deliberately. They hold back information, drop vague hints, or act aloof, hoping to make others curious about them. But a Sigma male's mystery isn't an act, it's just who they are. They don't share much, not because they're trying to create intrigue, but because they simply don't feel the need to explain themselves. While others overshare to seek validation or build connections, Sigma males operate differently. They see no point in unnecessary small talk or revealing details about their lives unless it actually serves a purpose. They don't talk just to fill silence. They don't share just to be liked. And they definitely don't explain themselves just to satisfy someone's curiosity. If they do open up, it's always intentional, never impulsive. This is what makes their presence so intriguing. People are naturally drawn to what they can't figure out, and Sigma males are unreadable by design. You never quite know what they're thinking, where they've been, or what they'll do next. And yet, they aren't secretive in a way that feels forced or manipulative. They don't withhold information to create drama. They just don't see the point in saying more than necessary. And here's what makes this impossible to fake: effortlessness. Many try to manufacture an air of mystery by dodging questions, giving cryptic responses, or acting like they have some deep, hidden life. But a real Sigma male isn't playing mysterious. He is mysterious simply because he exists on his own terms. His silence isn't calculated, it's natural. His reserved nature isn't a performance, it's just how he functions. This is why people find themselves drawn to Sigma males without even realizing why. There's no act, no forced persona, just someone who moves through the world without feeling the need to explain himself. And that kind of mystery, you can't imitate it. You either have it or you don't. Number 8, a mind that never shuts off. Sigma males don't just think, they overthink, dissect, and decode everything around them. Their minds are like high-powered machines that never switch off, constantly running in the background, breaking things down and putting them back together in ways most people wouldn't even consider. They don't do this because they want to, it's simply how they're wired. While most people accept things at face value, Sigma males can't. They question motives, patterns, and meanings behind every interaction. When someone tells them something, they don't just hear the words, They analyze why those words were chosen, the tone behind them, and what wasn't said. This makes them nearly impossible to manipulate because they sense deception before it even fully forms. Their minds are relentless, working in ways that can be both a gift and a burden. They see the flaws in systems, the inconsistencies in stories, and the subtle power dynamics others miss. In social settings, they instantly recognize fake confidence, hidden agendas, and unspoken tensions. Even in their personal lives, they are their own harshest critics, constantly reevaluating their decisions, beliefs, and next moves. This level of introspection isn't something you can fake. Most people only engage in deep thinking when it's convenient or when they're forced to, but Sigma males don't get to turn it off. Even in moments of relaxation, their minds are working, solving, predicting, understanding. This is why they often come across as distant or detached. They're not ignoring you. They're just caught in a loop of thoughts that never really ends. The difference between them and those who pretend to be deep thinkers is simple. Faking it requires effort. True introspection is automatic, involuntary, and constant. You can act like you see beneath the surface for a while, but Sigma males actually live there. And that's what makes them impossible to imitate. Number 9, zero need for performative confidence. Confidence is one of the easiest things to fake, but only for a while. People put on loud, exaggerated displays of self-assurance, hoping to convince the world and themselves that they are strong, fearless, and unshakable. They walk with a forced swagger, speak with unnecessary bravado, and seek attention to reinforce their image. But there's a difference between acting confident and being confident, and this is where Sigma males stand apart. Sigma males have no need for performative confidence because their self-assurance doesn't come from external validation. It's not about being the loudest in the room, outshining others, or proving anything to anyone. Their confidence is silent but absolute, rooted in self-awareness, competence, and a deep understanding of who they are. They don't need applause or admiration to feel secure. They are already secure, whether anyone is watching or not. This is why their presence is so striking. They don't demand attention, yet people notice them. They don't seek approval, yet they are respected. Unlike those who inflate their confidence for show, Sigma males remain calm, composed, and unaffected by external opinions. They know their worth, so they don't feel the need to announce it. And this is what makes them impossible to imitate. You can fake arrogance, you can pretend to be confident, but eventually the act crumbles. The moment things don't go as planned, the fake confidence fades, revealing insecurity beneath. Sigma males, on the other hand, remain steady, whether they win or lose, whether they are praised or ignored. Their confidence isn't conditional, it simply is. This level of self-possession is rare because it requires true inner strength. It means being comfortable in your own skin, never chasing validation, and never needing to prove anything. That's why you can't fake what Sigma males have. You either are that sure of yourself, or you aren't, and the difference is unmistakable. Number 10, a default mode of deep thinking. Most people live on autopilot. They take things as they come, accept the surface-level version of reality, and rarely stop to question why things are the way they are. But Sigma males, their minds never operate that way. Deep thinking isn't something they do, it's their default mode. While others skim the surface, they're always submerged, analyzing, questioning, and dissecting reality in ways most people wouldn't even consider. They don't just hear words, they break down the meaning behind them. They don't just see events, they trace the cause and effect patterns that led to them. Every interaction, every situation, every piece of information is filtered through a mental framework that never stops processing. It's not a choice, it's instinctual. This is why they can't just go with the flow. The idea of blindly following trends, accepting norms, or making decisions without thinking them through is impossible for them. They question everything from social expectations to personal choices to the very nature of reality itself. And this questioning isn't shallow, it's relentless, often taking them down mental rabbit holes that force them to see things from angles most people never even consider. But here's what makes this impossible to fake: effortlessness. A lot of people try to appear deep by throwing around complex ideas, quoting philosophers, or acting overly contemplative. But deep thinking isn't about acting, it's about being. Sigma males don't think deeply for attention, and they don't turn it on and off when it's convenient. Their mind naturally works this way, whether anyone is watching or not. This is why they often seem detached. It's not that they don't care. It's that their brain is always engaged in something deeper, something beyond the surface level noise most people focus on. And that's a level of mental depth you simply can't imitate. You either exist in that space or you don't. Number 11, the ability to see through social facades instantly. Most people take others at face value. They hear confidence in a loud voice, see sincerity in a well-timed smile, and assume friendliness means good intentions. But a Sigma male, he doesn't just see people, he dissects them. In seconds, he picks up on the cracks in their persona, the micro-expressions they try to hide, the subtle hesitations that reveal what they don't want anyone to know. It's not guesswork, it's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. Over time, he's observed enough human behavior to know when someone's faking confidence, forcing charm, or hiding an agenda. He can tell when someone's pretending to be fearless but secretly overcompensating. He notices when a friendly act feels rehearsed rather than natural. He senses manipulation before a single deceptive word is spoken. And here's what makes this impossible to fake. Real perception isn't about being suspicious, it's about being aware. Some people think they're good at reading others, but what they actually do is project their own assumptions onto people. A Sigma male, however, doesn't assume, he watches, he listens. He lets people reveal themselves in their own subtle ways, and they always do. That's what unsettles people. They realize, often too late, that he's not fooled by their masks. He doesn't call them out directly, he just knows. And once he knows, they lose all control over the narrative they were trying to create. Their charm doesn't work on him. Their lies fall flat. Their attempts at manipulation fail before they even begin. People say, you can't fool a fool, but the real truth is, you can't fool someone who isn't playing the game in the first place. A Sigma male sees the game, sees the players, and chooses to remain outside of it, watching with quiet, unnerving clarity. And that level of perception, you either have it or you don't. Some things can be imitated for a while, confidence, intelligence, even independence, but eventually the act cracks. That's the thing about true Sigma males. Their defining traits aren't just behaviors, they're built in. You can't fake something that's second nature to them. A Sigma male doesn't have to try to be mysterious. He just naturally keeps to himself. He doesn't need to prove his confidence, it's rooted in self-awareness, not validation. And while many claim to be disciplined, independent, or unbothered by opinions, a Sigma male truly embodies these traits without effort. What makes these qualities impossible to fake is the consistency. Anyone can act calm under pressure until the moment chaos hits. Anyone can pretend to be self-sufficient until they secretly crave approval. But a Sigma male, his core traits don't waver no matter the situation. That's what separates him from the crowd. He doesn't wear a mask, doesn't seek recognition, and doesn't bend to fit expectations. His presence alone carries weight, not because he demands attention, but because he operates on a level most can't match. And that's what makes him rare. Thank you for watching, gents, and God bless you.